Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This is awesome! This is awesome! What's up, Cheap Shot Nation? This is the first video for July, following the first show of July that we've been to. Go and check out blogspot.co.uk for our Cheap Shot Entertainment blog. That's Cheap Shot Entertainment at I think it's blogspot. Yeah, cheapshotentertainment.blogspot.co.uk. That's the one, and I will get there eventually. So yeah, you can join us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Of course, I'm wearing my WrestleGate D because the first show was Frontline, and then it was followed by WrestleGate Emerald Grand Prix. That's the one I was thinking of. Two great shows, one day. Don't do two separate videos, so check out the WrestleGate video as well. Well worth the £20 that we paid to sit general. May go front row next time. Really enjoyed front row last time, so that might be an option. Gary, if you're watching and you want to give us some cheaper tickets, Cheap Shot Entertainment, we're going to follow you from now on. We're going to go to most of the WrestleGate shows that we can get to, and that will be our premium indie show, shall we say. Anyway, we've got a lot to get through. Like I say, both shows took place on the 6th of July. They were at the Rushcliffe Arena. I've got a list of everywhere where we're going for the month of July on blogspot.cheapshotentertainment.co.uk, or yeah, the other way around. I will get there. Still setting that up, by the way. So let's get straight into this one. Going to be short and sharp videos. Just going to go through the winners and the losers and the matches that we saw for Frontline. So join us in the main part of the video. Thank you for joining us for this video, and we hope you stay right till the very end and tell us if you enjoyed this video or not, because it helps us get better. Anyway, let's get into the show. You are the Cheap Shot Nation, and you are watching Cheap Shot Entertainment. So, Frontline Wrestling, it was at the Rushcliffe Arena. It started at 2 o'clock, which was first bell. Doors opened at 1 o'clock, and it cost £10 English to sit general seating for this show. £15 for front row, and if you waited a bit longer, like we didn't, you could have got the tickets for half price. So yeah, one to look out for. Some great matches. I thought personally that the first half was stronger than the second half, considering there was two main events in the second half, and I do now have a new favourite wrestler in the UK indie scene, certainly on Frontline. It's Frontline Next Gen. Basically they adhere to the sort of Japanese style of training and wrestling. So you've got the young lions and you've got the professionals, so to speak, and all of the young lions wear flat black wrestling gear with Frontline Wrestling on them, which I really like, so you can differentiate between the young lions and the professionals. Saw some really good young wrestlers here on Frontline Wrestling Next Gen. We're going to the first match. It is Scotty Davis, the man with the supreme mustache. He is the supreme suplex machine, Scotty Davis. Never seen this guy before. He did end up wrestling in WrestleGate as well, and he was brilliant in both shows. So Scotty, thank you for entertaining us. To tell you were the first match, you were the opener. I was really entertained by this match, and of course Callum Newman as well was his opponent. And again, two young hungry performers here in Frontline Wrestling. great match to open up the show. Very back and forth here with Scotty Davis hitting some fantastic looking suplexes. At one point catching Callum Newman coming off the ropes in the springboard, catching him in a German suplex. Another suplex move they hit was a full Nelson suplex into a German suplex, I think it was. A full Nelson into a German, bang, and away you go. Yeah, really, really good match. I was very impressed by both these guys, but it would be Scotty Davis who would pick up the win. I'm going to call this move the Davis Driver. I don't know what it was called, but basically he just dropped Callum Newman on his head for the win. 1, 2, 3, and your winner is Scotty Davis, the Supreme Suplex Machine. So we go on to the next match now. It is a women's match. And it was supposed to be Jamie Hayter versus Lana Austin. Unfortunately, Jamie Hayter is injured, so she had to be replaced. And she was replaced by a young lion, a young lady who I was very impressed with. So impressed, in fact, that I went on the Facebooks and commented on the Frontline Wrestling Facebook page, just to say how good I thought she was in the ring for a trainee. Apparently she was one of the newest trainees, and yeah, she held her own against Lana Austin, someone who I've seen wrestle a couple of times. Once against, I still can't remember his name, and I feel really bad for it. We saw him at PCW. And I'm just going to come out with it as soon as I realise who it is and correct myself. But yeah, Lana Austin, the veteran, versus Roisin. I think that's how you say it, Roisin. But she was really good, and obviously Lana Austin is always good. Yeah. Really, really good women's match. I was really impressed with the opening two matches. I couldn't say that enough about Frontline Wrestling. Very impressed. I'm going to be keeping up with these guys and girls in the future and keeping up with their current shows and what's going off. But Lana Austin would win after a small comeback. Most of the match was in Lana Austin's corner. She was beating down the young lion, one of the newest young lions to enter the fray. She would beat Roisin via a hangman's DDT. The young lioness, shall we say, could not answer the 3 count, although she did kick out of a few moves, which was really good, but she couldn't kick out of this one. Lana Austin is your winner. It is experience over youth in this match that goes over. Lana Austin is your winner. So we next get a tag team match, and two guys who have appeared on NXT UK. They got their asses handed to them on NXT UK, but they appeared nonetheless. And we have Pretty Deadly, which is Sam Stoker and Lewis Howley, a tag team that's well known in the UK indie scene, and they're going against two more young lions in Nico and JJ. And yeah, it wasn't all singing and dancing for the duo known as Pretty Deadly, the so-called professionals of the match. And yeah, it would be Nico and JJ who would pick up the win off a distraction nonetheless. Some really good high-flying moves from Nico, some very heavy-hitting moves from JJ, and obviously Pretty Deadly are always going to be really good as a tag team unit. They've been tagging together for quite a while, so I understand, and it was good to see some wrestlers on the show that have previously been on telly on WWE, no less, in NXT UK. But it would be Nico and JJ after Nico would hit a shooting star press on I think it was Howley for this one. So like I say, off a distraction, shooting star press, standing shooting star press nonetheless, and a win after pinning Lewis Howley. So your winners in this match, the Young Lions, are Nico and JJ. So we have 1-1 for the Young Lions, and I was always rooting for the Young Lions because, you know, I like the fact that they're training. I like the fact that they're really getting a shot in Frontline Wrestling and a chance to see what they could do. Bearing in mind that most of the wrestlers, most of the WrestleGate wrestlers would be in the back, probably watching the show as well. So, you know, maybe some of them will get picked up for the next show in October. Next, we have a fatal four-way match. It is Rocky Mack. We've seen him at Wrestling Resurgence before. He was in a tag team match over there. I think it was a fatal four-way tag team match. We get to see Matt Walters and the heavy hitter Malik and Miles Kamen, because he's miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles better than someone. Than you, obviously. That's, you know, it's miles better. But we get introduced to a fifth participant in this match, making it a fatal five-way or a five-pack challenge. I don't even know what this match would be called, because we're used to triple threats, we're used to fatal four-ways, we're used to six-pack challenges, but it makes it a fatal five-way match. We get to see Julian Page, a German wrestler. Obviously WrestleGate has links to Germany, doing a couple of shows over there. The last show we saw, they had a bus full of German fans over from Germany to come and watch the show, which was really cool when we saw them in March. So yeah, Julian Page is like the Flash, running around the ring. But yeah, it wasn't difficult to keep up with this match. It was basically heavy hitting, it was high flying, lots of fighting on the outside. Basically it was two guys in the ring at any one time pretty much throughout the match, but it would be Rocky Mack who would pick up the victory in this one, the crowd favourite. Definitely one to watch for the future, with a sweet looking Frankenstein. This guy's not a super heavyweight, and he's definitely not a light heavyweight, but yeah, I wouldn't have expected him to be able to jump up and hit a Frankensteiner, which is basically a hurricane runner. You jump, catch your opponent in a hurricane runner and chuck them off the top rope. A Frankensteiner and a TKO on Miles and Miles and Miles down from the TKO from Rocky Mack. It would be Miles Kamen who would take the fall for Rocky Mack, and the crowd favourite Rocky Mack picking up the victory in this one. We're going to move on again to Curtis Chapman versus Jordan Breaks. This one reminded me of really old school wrestling, very technical, very technically sound. A lot of fans in the crowd weren't really getting into this one, which was sad, because certainly I think it was Curtis Chapman. He reminds me of a lot of a young Zack Sabre Jr. with how he was wrestling. Lots of sick looking submissions. I was kind of done by the finish really in this match, because I was expecting a submission finish with how much these two guys were being very technical on each other. And Jordan Breaks reminds me a lot of Gentleman Jack Gallagher with his escapes and things like that. A very evenly fought contest, easily probably my favourite match, second favourite match behind the first match, because I really like the Supreme Suplex Machine. And yeah, it would be Jordan Breaks with a roll-up in this match to get the victory, and that's pretty much it for me. I saw some great technical wrestling. I was expecting a bit more from the finish, for this one, but a great technical match nonetheless. Just wanted that little bit more of a finish from these two guys. Handshake in the middle of the ring, lots of respect retained from both guys, and I hope to see these two guys go at it again very, very soon, and I'll be watching that one when it does happen. So make it happen, Frontline Wrestling. I really want to see that happen, and I'd love to see a submission finish, maybe a submission match, submission only, maybe. That's something you could book. Anyway, we're going on to the main event now. It is Carlos Romo versus the OJMO. We've seen the OJMO in Resurgence Wrestling, and he was the guy, I think he was in like a fatal 6-way, 8-way elimination something. Anyway, he had a cucumber down his wrestling tights, which was really, really funny at the time. Great young wrestler, obviously carrying Frontline, just gone from young lion to professional in that company, and he's carrying that company with him, and that is a good thing, because the OJMO is very well known on the British indie circuit. Fantastic wrestler, but it would be Carlos Romo who would get most of this match under his belt, with targeting the left arm of the OJMO, but eventually the OJMO would come back, and it would be a single leg crab that would get the victory for the OJMO, and this is kind of what I expected from the last match. But it told a great story. It's a really, really good match, and overall I would give the whole show at least 4 out of 5 stars, maybe 4.5. Really enjoyed this one. Really enjoyed this show. So Frontline Wrestling, you are doing a fantastic job. You kept me entertained for 2 long hours of wrestling goodness in this one, and knowing that we had the later show as well, this was a nice way to start the day. So yeah, I've given you my overall review of this show. A great show, great fantastic matches. The opening match was the star match, followed by the technical match. Even the ladies match, which do tend to get, they're really good matches, but they don't tend to get crowds going, and this one actually did. And considering it's probably a show that people just bought tickets to because they could get them half price, it was really, really good. Hopefully that will get people watching Frontline Wrestling, and it certainly got me watching Frontline Wrestling. I'm definitely going to be keeping up with the next gen of British wrestling. And that's our review of Frontline Wrestling on the 6th of July 2019 at the Rushcliffe Arena. It was the opener for the WrestleGate show, which was going to be later on in the evening around about 6:30, with doors at 5:30 and the meet and greet just before that. Really good show. Like I say, I've given it 4 out of 5 stars, very solid, maybe even 4.5. It was just the ending to the last 2 matches that sort of dropped it a star. I thought they probably should have been switched over, but that didn't take away from the fantastic technical ability of Jordan Breaks and Curtis Chapman, and also the showmanship of Carlos Romo and the OJMO, who told a great story in that match. So yeah, definitely want to watch if you see a Frontline show around your area. I believe they're from down south. So go and watch one of these shows. Really good. £10 general seating, £15 for front row. Definitely one to watch here in the UK. So if you like the video, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to know when we upload new content to the channel. Make sure you check out the WrestleGate Pro Emerald Grand Prix video as well, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and cheapshotentertainment.blogspot.co.uk to keep up with everything that we are doing here on Cheap Shot Entertainment. Once again, thank you for watching. You are the Cheap Shot Nation, and I have been your host, Luke. This is Cheap Shot Entertainment, and we'll see you next time.